Charles Payne, you're watching Making Money. Breaking news today, the FBI finding nearly 15,000 more documents during its investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. And now a federal judge has ordered the State Department to complete an expedited review of those documents by September 23rd. Now, the State Department lawyer said they intended to release the documents in batches. They wanted to start on October 14th, ending on November 4th. That would be 4 days before the presidential election. But the judge wants those emails out a lot sooner. All of this, of course, coming at hearings on lawsuit brought by against the department by conservative watchdog Judicial Watch. The new emails today released by Judicial Watch, once again showing a conflict of interest between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department under Hillary Clinton. Here to discuss, Eric Guster, Ford O'Connell, and Lauren Ehrsam. Lauren, let me start with you. The email saga never ends. I mean, I'm not even sure where 15,000 more emails came from, but it is bad news for Hillary Clinton.
Well, it's bad news for Hillary Clinton. It's just a constant drip, drip, drip. I mean, when are we going to stop hearing about another email scandal, another pay-for-play scandal? And today she's leaning on poor General Powell. I mean, innocent people don't need scapegoats such as General Powell.
Ford, we've talked about this. We've talked about the October surprise. Apparently, the Clinton camp was trying to make it maybe a November surprise, but we're going to probably get an idea of what these emails are all about. It's a lot of them. It's a lot to comb through. And this could have some devastating consequences come November.
Well, it absolutely could, particularly if it involves the State Department and the Clinton Foundation and whether or not there's a conflict of interest there. But to Lauren's point, she makes a great point about General Colin Powell basically saying, don't scapegoat me, Clinton team, over this email situation, because essentially you're trying to pin this on me after I advised you a year after you did all this stuff. You actually set up an entire server. All I had was a private email. So there's a lot of stuff going here, and basically Hillary Clinton and her team have used a disturbing pattern of serial dishonesty when it comes to her email woes.
And just so the audience, I want to update the audience because over the weekend, Colin Powell gave an interview to People magazine saying that Hillary Clinton's camp has been trying to pin her whole email saga on him, and he pointed out that the exchange that he can recall happened more than a year after she'd already set up her private server. So in other words, listen, he's got nothing to do with this, and I think he would hope that his name stops coming up, Eric. To that point, no one to pin this on. Now, Hillary Clinton has offered these sort of weird, lukewarm, I messed up kind of things, but what about the pay-per-play implications, which seem to get greater and greater? And you got to believe out of 15,000 emails, there might be a couple of bombshells or two in there.
There might be a couple of bombshells, just like there may be a couple of bombshells in Trump's taxes, but he hasn't released those.
Which we'll never see, but we will see these 15,000 emails.
And we should see the emails, just like we should see Trump's taxes. But with Hillary trying to blame Colin Powell for it, I was personally upset with that because she tried to throw him under the bus, and then Colin Powell jumped in the bus and ran over her a couple of times with it. But
were you surprised Hillary tried to throw someone under the bus?
Of course not. It's almost like Ryan Lochte. Let me just blame somebody else for what I did. But Hillary needs to. These emails, I believe, will be released. Hopefully, there's nothing in them that will harm her campaign, and she'll win in November.
Yeah, Lauren, I got to tell you, it does feel like there's the deception part of this, though, even if there is no time bomb in there. And again, it's hard to believe that out of 15,000, we won't see something that has major implications that needs to be further explained. But just the fact that the saga continues over and over again, that she wasn't forthcoming, that all of this just wasn't laid out on the table initially, it does make people wonder about, A, her ability to be commander-in-chief and to keep secrets for this country and keep us safe, and B, her integrity.
70% of Americans, even amongst Democrats, are saying that they have a very, very difficult time trusting Hillary Clinton. We're missing the forest through the trees. I mean, her spin team deserves a gold medal for the linguistic gymnastics that they perform every time another set of emails comes out. Every time they have to spin what comes out in those emails. Surely something else will come out. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of what comes out. And there's a forest of skullduggery, and it's burning down. There's smoke everywhere alluding to fire. I mean, the pay-for-play scandal that came out last week. pay for play is just another word for bribery. And she's not being prosecuted, she's being investigated, but then we get into the whole side of, whether or not it's politically expedient for those in power. Comey has lambasted her for the handling of her emails at State Department. And that's just one of many other scandals. And, going back to what Ford said, General Powell, the reason that he used his own personal email at State Department, the reason that he said that it made things easier at State Department was because an email system did not exist at State Department at the time when Colin Powell was there to allow him to send messages and communicate well with his staff. And even he warned Hillary Clinton that she needed to handle all emails on State Department servers. And what they are implying that Colin Powell and Secretary Rice and Madeleine Albright would sit around a table and somehow scheme to keep the American public from being able to see what is going on it's really unconscionable.
There's no doubt there was some deception there. Ford, I got to tell you, Lauren threw one out that, you usually come up with some good ones, but a forest of skullduggery. You're going to have a hard time beating that one tonight, my man.
No, she makes a great point, but understand something about the Clinton team. They are going to block and tackle, try to run out the clock no matter what. They've done it with the 2 devices, then she had multiple devices. I didn't send or receive classified info. Understand the Clinton team is going to try to run this clock out. It's up to the Trump team to make the case that this is not about his personality and his gaffes on the stump, but really a question about Hillary Clinton and whether or not she has the integrity to be the next commander-in-chief.
On top of that, Eric, we've got the Clinton Foundation. They may take some foreign donations. Bill might step aside. Even that is getting murky and odd. I mean, what's wrong with them? Why couldn't they just be smart enough to step away from this stuff? I mean, she didn't step away while she was Secretary of State. In fact, maybe it was the exact opposite. Maybe it was used as a platform to make money. But even right now, they seem so reluctant to hold on to it. Maybe it's a sign they're not sure about November.
Well, Clinton does have some issues, but on the Trump side, he has some issues as well, with Manafort being paid and with Russia.
Yeah, but that seems inconsequential. Manafort's not the candidate.
Manafort wasn't Secretary of State.
It is very important for us to talk about those, because if you are in the den of thieves, then you may be a thief as well. And Donald Trump has surrounded himself with people who are not upstanding people, and this is going to be an issue. Secondly,
Eric,
let's talk about it. No, let me finish. I didn't interrupt you. Let's talk about the second term. We want Clinton to explain these things about the Clinton Global Initiative, but Trump has not released his tax returns for us to scrutinize them to see if he's doing his fair thing as far as paying his taxes on time and paying his fair share.
And to be fair, Hillary Clinton didn't voluntarily offer this up either. It was the great work by the folks at Judicial Watch. And believe me, it's apples and oranges to compare the former president of the United States to a person who's a campaign manager for a couple weeks. All right, guys, we got to leave it there. Thank you all very much. Is the Trump campaign changing its position